Okay, getting things going here. Give me a second to bring our Twitch viewers into everything and make sure that everything is working there properly. It is Thursday evening. It is decently quiet for right now. We did have some pretty good thunderstorms out there earlier, but so far those have gone by the wayside, and maybe the potential of some more activity taking place in the area coming up through the weekend and into next week. We'll talk more about that in here in just a little bit. Just give me two more shakes here, making certain that we are on. And unfortunately, it looks like we may be having some issues here for Twitch, so maybe only on Facebook Live for tonight to see what's going on. So we will give you an idea as to what's happening with the rest of the forecast for this evening. Okay, I think we are back on again, so looking good there. All right, that should do it. Welcome, everybody. This is our exclusive video weather blog. If you've never tuned in here before, if you're brand new on Twitch, welcome to the show. If you're new on Facebook, welcome as well. This is our opportunity to talk about weather in and around the southeastern United States, more importantly, North Georgia, southeast Tennessee, northeast Alabama, and extreme western parts of North Carolina. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austin Onick, live and direct on Thursday night from the News 12 studios in Chattanooga, and we're again coming to you live on Facebook and Twitch, keeping you updated as to what's going on with the weather out there. From the WDEF studios, again tonight, a few showers and thunderstorms moving on through the area. No real amounts of severe weather. We did have a few severe thunderstorm warnings popping up from time to time. Those are pretty much gone. Check out our forecast available at wdef.com/weather, and we'll have all the details there for you. Again, the area we cover: North Georgia, Atlanta down here, Huntsville over this direction, Nashville and Middle Tennessee over here, and Knoxville up right below the severe weather banner. These are our counties right here that we cover, if you've never tuned in here before. And for right now, we're not seeing anything in the way of rain across the area. We did have showers and thunderstorms earlier, but most of those have gone by the wayside, so just moisture being detected there. Some showers over portions of the middle parts of the Carolinas, some heavy rainfall taking place there. Beyond that, not that much going on. A severe thunderstorm watch up toward the southeastern Great Lakes, and some severe thunderstorm warnings back around the Detroit area, but it's very well quiet across much of the entire United States. Hardly any severe weather to talk about there. We'll get into the potential for heat and what we're looking for in the way of heat advisories. That'll be coming up here in just a little bit. Thanking Cheryl Reeves for a beautiful shot. I'm assuming that's looking off to the southwest from the Tennessee River flowing by South Pittsburgh, Tennessee, from the Blue Bridge. I haven't been there yet, so I'd love to be able to take a look at that. That's our West Shore Home weather window picture of the day for Thursday. Got weather pictures we can share? Please send them to us. You don't have to be in this viewing area either. If you're in Hawaii or Canada or Mexico or Maine, wherever you are, give us an idea as to where you were and what you were looking at, so at least we have that much. If you don't want to use your name, that's fine, but a short description would be good. Find us out there on our social media pages, and we post these pictures to our social media pages so you can see them up close and personal. So go ahead and send us in, and your picture could be the next West Shore Home weather window picture of the day. 98 degrees, not quite the highest temperature for the year so far, about the second or third highest as I recall, and just above normal on the temperatures for lows as well. No rainfall today, still ahead for the month of August, and looks like we'll probably finish up that way. Behind for the year by about an inch and a third, just over that. Record low has not been broken since 1891, and a record high of 102. We came within 4 degrees of that today, and that has not been broken or set since 2007. So we did have, again, a fairly close to record high temperature day. Would love to stay away from that if at all possible, and it looks like we may be getting into some nicer weather. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a little bit. Forgot to mention, again, if you're on Twitch TV, use the chat function if you have questions. We'd love to be able to answer your questions, or at least send you in the right direction when it comes to questions on that. And in Facebook Live, please just drop them to our comment section there, and we'll feature some of the comments if you like. Again, just So nice to have you drop in and say hello for the time being. Sunrise getting later and sunset getting earlier over the next few days. The moon is heading toward its second full moon in the calendar month. So by the time we hit the 31st of August, that'll be our second blue moon, our second moon of the month, which makes it a quote unquote blue moon. It won't turn blue, the color blue. It just means it's very rare. It happens every once in a while to have two full moons in 1 month. Again, that's what we call a blue moon out there, and we're about 68% illuminated right now. Some beautiful shots out there with the clouds and a little bit of haze for right now from Island Cove Marina and Resort on the EPB Fiber Optics WeatherCam network. We're showing again some a little bit of haze, but otherwise not too bad. Probably going to be seeing a few more clouds out across the area. Pointing the camera at Lee Point across Highway 153, the Plainview outdoor advertising camera from Lee Point. Hope to get a good sunset shot out there for this evening, and hopefully we did. Downtown Chattanooga, lights of Finley Stadium lit up pretty well. Lookout Mountain on the Bailey's Heating and Air camera looking off to the south where those thunderstorms were passing on through from earlier today. Traffic around 24 and 75 south central areas of Chattanooga. That again showing that typical evening backup with construction going on 24 West, just past where this camera is located. So northbound 75 to westbound 24, picking up some of that slowdown. Southbound 75 interstate is looking pretty good at this time. Likewise, we got a pretty good sunset shot earlier yesterday. The north slope of Lookout Mountain here and the lights of Broad Street down and below. And have to introduce, we introduced this last night, but a big thank you to our new sponsor. That's Total Speedy's Car Care, the webcam on the EPB Fiber Optics WeatherCam network. That, again, is at the new camera at the Chattanooga Theater Center, so you can see some of the bridges looking off to the west and a fine sunset view there. So thanks very much, Total Speedy's Car Care, for the sponsorship of the new cameras. Taking a look at temperatures, it's again a very warm evening. Numbers back in the lower 80s. Dew points rather high. The temperatures out there on the temperatures totally saturated. That indicates, again, that temperature shows a very muggy condition out across much of the area. There's a difference to things like this. The air temperature is just the temperature of the air itself, not taking into account any moisture whatsoever. So air temperatures right now are back in the mid to upper 70s to the lower, even a few mid 80s. Cleveland, Tennessee, Scottsboro, Alabama, you're still in the mid 80s at this time. Now the temperature on the dew point, it's a much more accurate way, better depiction of showing what's going on with moisture out there. And again, you take a look at dew point temperatures in the 50 to 60 degree range. That's very dry air. The farther away the dew point temperature is from the air point temperature, or just the air temperature, that means a wide range of the amount of moisture out there, and that means that's very, very dry. You start taking the dew point temperature and moving it up. Remember, the temperature at the airport a little while ago was 81 degrees, so the dew point temperature in Chattanooga at the airport is 73. That's much closer together, and that means the atmosphere is more saturated with plenty of moisture, and that's why it feels so uncomfortable out there. Humidity values, yeah, that's kind of a good way of sort of showing what goes on, but it's not perfect, so we're trying to show you a more accurate way of determining this. And look at, Decatur, Tennessee, 79 degree dew point. That is exceptionally sultry. That is very uncomfortable, very difficult for your skin to sweat, and using that evaporation to cool your skin off. Not really much of anything there to help out with any good numbers. A little better around Monteagle, about 59 degrees, and then 65 dew point in Calhoun and Blue Ridge, Georgia, but that's not entirely all that comfortable to begin with, so not doing too bad for there. Let's take a look and see what's going on. Let's go back to the maps, if I can find out where I rearranged everything here from. We do have, again, a new system coming in from the north and the west. This is going to be heading our direction. This air mass is going to be crossing the country and giving us a new shot of some drier conditions, but we'll talk more about that coming up here in just a little while. What we've got to our area is these areas of high pressure which are helping to move in very warm, moist air, sticking around and having a lot of warm, moist air off the East Coast and the Gulf Coast. So that is where we're getting all those uncomfortable conditions across much of the area for tonight, and going to continue to see that sticking around throughout the course of the next several days. Now, running the numbers into tonight, low temperatures, not that low, mid to upper 60s to around lower 70s, mid 90s into tomorrow afternoon. And that's where we see again maybe the potential of some showers and thunderstorms developing. These are after school numbers, and right before Friday night football. It's going to be pretty oppressive out there. So it's going to be a very hot evening. Some schools are postponing the time of the kickoffs. Check with your school, because several around the News 12 viewing area are going to about 8:15 kickoff time to try to avoid the heat and humidity as best as they possibly can. Early Saturday, temperatures in the mid 70s, showers and thunderstorms north of us will be, again, maybe leaving behind a bit of an impulse in the atmosphere, so we could see more showers and thunderstorms developing after that, heading on down to the south and to the east. More thunderstorm potential on Saturday. That, again, could be a problem for outdoor activities, and high temperatures, once again, will briefly make their way upwards into the mid-90s, even the upper 90s possible out there through Saturday afternoon. Going through Sunday morning, it looks decently quiet for now, with low temperatures in the mid-70s at best, and then getting into early Sunday afternoon, lower 90s, with more chances of showers and thunderstorms coming on through the area. So outdoor activity is going to have the heat, the humidity, and the possibility of showers and thunderstorms out there. So just please keep that in mind as you go throughout the rest of the weekend. Let's give you the numbers out there and show you what's going on the 7-day forecast. Things are improving as we go toward next week, but it's going to take a while, again, through the end of the month into around next week. That's where we start to see the changes in the temperatures coming on through. Thursday next week, that is the last day of August. September starts next Friday, and that, again, ending August on a very nice note and getting rid of some of the heat. That's going to make things look very nice at this point compared to where they are now. And again, through the weekend, very hot for Friday, very hot for Saturday, and then getting into the lower 90s by about Sunday. Small comfort, I know, but again, that'll be at least a downturn in the temperatures. Better potential of showers and thunderstorms Saturday through next Tuesday, and then drying out, a few clouds on next Thursday, but that'll be about it. And then plenty of sunshine, and numbers taking a bit of a tumble into the lower 80s. So we're trying to get back that direction. It's just taking a while to get there. Taking a look at the forecast on the long range, the gold and green colors back to the north. This is going to be the less hot air coming in from parts of Canada, and by next week that starts to drift much farther our direction, farther south of the Great Lakes. That's good news for us. More importantly, what it does is take these colors and shove them all the way back to the west of us. So it will continue to be hot out across the western United States, but at least this comes in and shoves all that back that direction, and that means our temperatures next week are going to be a little bit more moderate, and that will be feeling rather nice out there for the next couple of days. So definitely some good news into the forecast out there as we go into next week. Had enough time in the roaster. I think it's time that we get clear of that for now. Air quality index just about an hour ago, back in the mid-50s. A forecast today of 100. That's the maximum moderate yellow category before you start getting into code orange. We did not hit that for today. Good news on there. And the forecast for tomorrow, close to what we had today, but still moderate, not seeing a big problem. We are continuing to see, again, a lot of wildfire smoke from local fires down across the southeastern United States. But for what we can see in the course of the next couple of days, it looks like most of that will be gone as we get into the next couple of days, so good news there. Chances of rainfall, again, through tonight into tomorrow. Right about the time we're going for Friday night football, we're just not seeing anything in the way of major problems. So for Friday night football, it looks like for right now, things are going to be okay where it comes to anything involving showers and thunderstorms out there. There will be the potential of maybe seeing, again, the possibility of a very hot start to the day, and temperatures not much better into anything involving football into the weekend. There may be chances of showers and thunderstorms out there by Saturday and Sunday, so outdoor activities are going to have to plan ahead and keep an eye on that. So good news again for the most part out there. There may be the possibility of a few areas of thunderstorms coming up on the Food City Certified Angus Beef Grill Cast. For Saturday and Sunday, more chances of showers and thunderstorms out there, but less heat, not by much, but at least we'll turn the thermostat down by just a little bit as we go into the course of the next couple of days. So hopefully that pans out for now. The Greater Chattanooga Orthodontics bus stop forecast for Friday, again, a hot finish to the day. Plenty of sunshine. So far, not detecting anything in the models about thunderstorms, maybe an isolated shower or thunderstorm, but that's, again, a pretty iffy possibility right there. So far, so good on that. Let's take a dive into the tropics before we finish things up here for tonight. Here we go. I wanted to show you again this smoke cast for the next, excuse me, couple of days is going to be showing the potential of these showers and thunderstorms clearing the atmosphere by just a little bit. But what we'll also see is the potential of localized. You see the color is changing a little bit down here. There are going to be isolated possibilities of some wildfires, and some of that smoke could drift its way over the area, so that could be a problem. And then that cold front coming in over the next few days could drive some of that Canadian wildfire smoke down our direction. All right, let's take a look into the Atlantic, which again is exceptionally busy at this time. We've got Franklin back out across portions of the area just north of Hispaniola. This could become a hurricane in the next few days. Emily sitting back to the north. What's left of it is still a tropical depression. It became a tropical storm briefly yesterday. Gert is still wandering around and kind of curving back around again, looping the loop just to the east of the Leeward Islands. And a new area of investigation that was, again, what we saw back off to the west of us a few days ago. It wasn't just a disturbance. Now it's an area of investigation. That means it's gotten a little bit more cohesiveness and a little bit more strength to it. So that, again, could be just a bit of an issue as we go into the next few days. Now, whether or not that's a threat to the United States, that's kind of iffy to talk about for right now, so hopefully nothing major. Franklin, again, sitting just north of Hispaniola, going back to the north of Puerto Rico, leaning to the east a little bit, but it looks like most of this is going to be curving to the east, then back around, curving to the north, and that is where we could see some problems. That speck right up there is Bermuda, and that is where this storm, if it becomes a hurricane, it looks like it'll become a Category 2, maybe a threat for Bermuda, but as you can see for right now, it's still very far away from the East Coast or Florida, around the area of the eastern coast of the United States. So this one does not appear to really have anything in the way of a major issue taking place. If you remember Hurricane Hillary last week, there still does appear to be a situation shaping up to where the storm system just off the west coast of Africa is going to be going in that general direction. Now, whether or not that becomes a full-fledged hurricane, that's a different story. And B, that system, again, has a long way to go before it goes up that direction. But if you're traveling to the desert Southwest, anything between, say, Santa Fe, New Mexico, and Los Angeles, California, I'd pay attention to this one just to be on the safe side, to watch and see what goes on with that particular system. All right, now, more importantly for us, again, we take a look at all this. Hardly any of this is really affecting us directly up into the Tennessee River Valley. This is very interesting to take a look at for now. This now heading upwards again. Let me just double check. That red color there indicates that we have an uptick in the possibility. So now it's not at 60%. The potential of it developing is now at 70%. So what you're looking at is a system, just a disorganized area of low pressure for now over Central America, just into the Bay of Campeche. This is where we may see, again, a development taking place. More importantly, what we're looking at is this system going north, threading the needle between the Yucatan Peninsula and around the western area of Cuba, and heading to the north after that as it goes toward the northeastern Gulf of Mexico. So you're saying, okay, well, as you said, this is going to take a while. It's going to be about a week away. This is well on down to our south by a couple of thousand miles. So what's the big problem? This is the big problem. The area that we're looking at for right now, those darker colors are this entire map is an SST map, or sea surface temperature map. What that means is that the current temperature difference, the cooler waters of the Atlantic up here in the yellows and the greens, that's the Gulf Stream that you see there wandering through those colder waters. And down here, these temperatures are that brick red color, which means a lot of these numbers are very warm, as in 90, 92 degrees plus. The water temperatures a few weeks ago were 100 degrees, not the air temperature, the water temperature around Key West. That right there, as this system goes through that particular area, this is rocket fuel for these types of storms that form over that. What it needs is a very warm, very unstable atmosphere above those very warm, almost hot ocean waters. So the important thing for right now, next week between New Orleans and the Keys, I would watch that system coming northward, because this is something that could develop very quickly once it threads its way through the Gulf of Cuba right there. That is where we might be able to see some more problems coming on through. This is, again, something that could alter our weather if it goes far enough northward. So this is something that we definitely need to watch, and something that, again, we're still a few thousand miles ahead of this, above this, but the way this is going, again, this area right here, again, New Orleans to the Keys, you should be keeping an eye on what exactly, excuse me a second, got an eyebrow problem there, looking again at this system going north. And that could, if it gets big enough, if it gets powerful enough, it could be a reason to evacuate the area in this location as it heads that direction. And then it could affect our weather depending on how big this system gets. If it's a fairly tiny little system, then it doesn't look like it's too much to worry about for now. But as it gets closer to those very heavily inhabited areas around the Gulf Coast, and if it's big enough out there, then this thing could affect a good portion of the Gulf Coast, and that weather could get far enough up this direction to affect us with rain, maybe winds, things like that. Not as a hurricane, but it's just possible that our weather could be affected by that. So once again, this is going to be something that is very important to check in on, especially if you're traveling anything east of New Orleans and anything north of the Keys and around Sarasota back toward Tampa, St. Pete. This is something that I would keep a very close eye on for now. So again, weather aware is the best thing to be. Please remember that into the course of the next several days. And of course, we'll keep you informed here on News 12. There's my football graphic. Okay, for tomorrow night, again, the potential for those games being delayed by a little bit could be an issue as they try to avoid roasting everybody in the stands. So kickoff temperatures, upper 80s, lower 90s. Mostly clear skies. You won't need the rain protection out there, that's for certain, but you will need to take along that extra bottle of water. If you can take that into the stadium, make certain you stay well hydrated, and everybody who's in charge of the games, the marching band, the cheerleaders, the officials, the players on the field, watch out for signs of heat injuries. That is a major thing, especially playing in weather like this and with humidity levels as high as they have been. That's something to really make certain you pay attention to. It's not just hot. It can be dangerous hot. It can be deadly hot if you don't pay attention to those particular weather signs out there. Once again, if you're a teacher or an administrator, we'd love to appear at your school, talk to your students about weather issues, meteorology, science, mathematics, climate change, emergency communications, all that. We can talk about whatever you want to on there, but you do have to invite us, and you do need to fill out the form to send us the information. This is the Food City Weather in the Classroom program. Fill out the details at wdef.com/weather and select Weather in the Classroom, and please do it soon, because if you don't, the spots that we have available tend to fill up very quickly, and that means you may not get us in your classroom until spring semester 2024. So if you'd like us to appear, great. Send us the invitation, but do it as soon as you can because things are going to fill up out there very much on the fairly quick side. For tonight, that should do it for our update of weather on our exclusive video weather blog, Weather Overtime. Again, you can pick up more detailed information available at wdef.com/weather. We'd love to hear from you, so drop us a line. And I'm on all of these social media networks here, so you can find me out there at some place and follow along, depending on where your location is. So glad to have you aboard for that. I'll wrap it up for here. I'll be back on news at 11 coming up here just under the hour, 11 p.m. Eastern time for those of you who want to tune in on our live streaming function online. And of course, Chip Chapman will have more on the weekend forecast coming up bright and early Friday morning starting at 5 a.m. Thanks for joining us tonight. Please be safe. Please stay cool. And as we go into the weekend, keep an eye out for that heat and humidity and those chances of showers and thunderstorms. Live and direct from downtown Chattanooga, Tennessee at the WDEF News 12 studios. Thanks for joining us for Weather Overtime for Thursday evening.